Well, hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and it's another edition of the Blues Fix here on MisplacedStraws.com. And my guest today is a rising talent on the blues scene. His traditional Mississippi roots have helped him forge his own brand of the blues, but he's also embraced the modern by creating an online path as well. He just released a new record called Ball Cat Blues, and here to talk about it, please welcome Davey Jones. Welcome, Davey.
I appreciate you having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And, normally I start an interview off by asking about the other musicians that play on a record with you. But with your record, you handle it all yourself. Why is it important for you to kind of handle all of the instrumentation on your own?
Um, it's a mix of things. One is just finding time and the money to get the whole band into the studio is difficult nowadays. Sometimes I record things and I they'll record it and they'll send it to me. Sometimes we do it remotely like that, but a lot of times I I enjoy all of the music when I'm able to play it all, to just kind of be me. It kind of makes it uniquely me and lets the listener, you know, uh, understand who I am and what my music is about.
Now, did you have actual training in, keyboards, drums, bass, or was it just stuff you picked up from playing?
I took piano lessons for a couple of years as a kid. I played drums through school, so those two, I guess was a little more formal than the others. My mother taught me the chords on guitar. Once you learn a couple of instruments and you kind of understand how music works, playing the other ones is just a matter of, say a different technique, the difference between, say, playing piano and playing organ, or, once you can finger pick on the guitar, going from that to banjo or something, that's not that hard of a stretch, or playing bass guitar. So, um, the more you learn, the easier it kind of becomes.
Mm. Now, Ball Cap Blues, it's not just a blues guitar record. I mean, there's some real funky stuff with new groove. To me, Walkin' Easy almost feels like an Allman Brothers, Southern rock kind of track. And I think all that makes the record flow really well. For something like this, I mean, do you approach it with, okay, these are the nine best songs I have right now? Or do you kind of pick and choose so that you get that feel and ride through the record?
There were probably, I don't know, 15 songs that I wrote while, in the month that I was putting the CD together. But you listen to some of them and you're like, this, you know, these handful work, but these are a little bit, too outside, like it would feel forced to go in there.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, I just kind of write whatever's in my head. I don't think this will or won't fit. I just sort of listen to everything afterwards, and if it doesn't fit, I say I'll put that in another album later. I'll release it as a single. But it's just Ball Cap Blues is just my version of the blues.
Mm.
It's got some traditional roots, but like you said, I like funk tracks. I love the Allman Brothers and Kebmo, and then you know you get things like 6 Feet in the Ground, which is a little bit more like the classic rock vibe.
Mm.
It's just my version of the blues.
Mm. I'm really big on musical geography, and how things sound in various parts of the country. And, I've been down to Mississippi. I'm up in the Northeast, but I've been down to Mississippi and Clarksdale and, into Memphis, and you feel it there. I mean, music's just a part of the being, it feels like nowhere else in the country when you're there. Were you able to always appreciate that cultural history when you were learning, or did it take kind of going out and then coming back to appreciate it?
When you grow up here, and I mean, I grew up here, so I can't speak for anywhere else. But music's everywhere. We're playing on the back porch. We're there's always a band playing, down on the corner or, in the bar. There's always music going everywhere you go. Um, I don't know that I appreciated it as much, as a kid, um, as much as, the older I got and the more I traveled around the country, the more I realized, our music is unique. We have that Delta sound. We get New Orleans, we get Memphis, we get Mobile. We've got a lot of interesting music around here. So uh, I guess I was in my 20s or 30s before I realized that, music is kind of a center of life a lot of times around here.
Yeah, and it's funny growing up here in the Northeast. You turn the radio on, when I was a kid, and over the course of a half hour, you have Stevie Wonder, Led Zeppelin, Barry Manilow all on the same station. And blues does have a pretty good foothold up here in the Northeast. But once you get down there, it kind of becomes a lifestyle. And for me, what I picked up most from down there is sort of those gospel vocals, the big chorus behind you like you have on the record, that kind of driving piano and organ that you have underneath everything, to me really speaks to that geographical area. And it's a more upbeat style of the blues than a lot of other places. Does all of that kind of transfer into ball cap blues?
Oh, sure. I mean, when you grow up around here, I mean, you grow up in churches, listening to the gospel choirs. You're listening. When you're in New Orleans, you're listening to the choirs and the bands sing. I don't know if it's. I've never really thought about it being geographic more than just something that I enjoy. I don't enjoy negative songs,
Mhm.
but at least in my experience, the people that I hang around, the people who influenced my life were positive, upbeat people. So that certainly does translate into my music. I don't tend to like slow, depressing songs. I want to be happy, so that I want to write songs that are happy. Those are the songs that I enjoy listening to. So I've never thought about it being geographic, but it very well might be. You've got me thinking now.
Well, and the reason I say this because you think of Chicago blues and you have the horns and the brass, and in Texas it's the blazing guitar, and it a lot of that lends itself to a more dramatic
It
kind.
does.
Whereas when you look at the Mississippi stuff, when you get that gospel choir going like you have on the record, that can't be a sad song. That's a song that's going to get you up and move.
Yeah, I sent one of these with an organ for a song I did a little while back. I sent it to a friend of mine. He said, "It sounds like you're walking into a church in Memphis," and I was like, "That's exactly what I want." You know,
And now, while certain parts of music have always been there, again, that gospel feel in the blues, the business of music has really changed dramatically over the last couple of decades. But I think you're somebody that's really embraced that modern feel. You do video classes on YouTube, you have a ton of stuff on TikTok. How did you first get started and translate what you do with this traditional form of music into a modern way of getting it out there?
um, yeah, I tried. I've always written music and tried to get it out there. Always played something. I tried the whole pushing it on TikTok thing, and you get stuck at 200 streams.
Mm.
um, really wasn't gaining any traction. And then one day I uploaded a John Lee Hooker intro, I think is what it was, and all of a sudden I get 20,000 views, and I thought to myself, I'm going about this music thing the wrong way. Um, and I thought, if I can help people learn to play,
Mm.
help them get over those humps that we all get stuck in. If I can help them do that, um, then the music will take care of itself. I'm sort of reaching people on on both sides. So I started putting out the videos, and then all of a sudden the music starts working as well, and it all just kind of takes care of itself. But I enjoy helping people because I had people around me that helped me, um, and little tricks and things that you pick up along the way that just make playing easier. And if I can help other people do that, and enjoy music in the same way that I do and play what they want, um, you know, that's my gift to the world, I guess.
And I gotta tell you, I've actually gone and watched a bunch of the lessons on YouTube, and I've learned a lot, of different things that, okay, that's an interesting way of doing it. It's a way I never would have thought of, and it makes sense. It's added to my playing, so that's really cool. Um,
Well, look, I just noticing your background. I'm not going to be Joe Bonamassa or something like that. I don't have the time, energy, dedication to sit there, and I have to find the easiest, cheatingest way to do it. So,
it works. I like it. Now, but you actually, we kind of laugh about this right now, but you have tens of thousands of followers on there. You have a pretty big audience. Have you seen kind of the crossover between that into streams of something like Ball Cap Blues or ticket sales?
um, yes, it's not something I pushed to begin with, and it's not something I really, push. I more just like mention it,
Yeah.
um, because I don't want to. The purpose of the videos is to teach you to play guitar.
Mm,
If you want to support the channel, you can stream the music. So in the last, since Ball Cap Blues came out, I'll mention it, and I do notice anytime I mention it or I use the tracks,
mm,
as backing tracks in the lessons, I see a jump in the
mm,
streams. So they do go hand in hand. But like I said, I'm not gonna force the guitar people to listen to my music. But those that want to help, support what I do, they certainly do.
mm. And speaking of it translating, will you be hitting the road at all? Do you have any shows planned to support the record?
Yeah, we're gonna. We don't travel around the country,
Mm,
at least not yet. But here in the South, especially starting in the fall, we don't do a whole lot down here in the winter. We like to stay inside. I'm sure y'all have been the same way lately.
that's for sure.
Um, but the festivals and things start kicking off in the spring and the summer, and that's when we really get out and start playing, at
Mm,
least here in the South.
mm. Well, I'll tell you, we'd love to see you up here on some of the festivals in the Northeast because there really is a pretty vibrant blues scene up here. So it's always great to have new talent coming up. Now, what do you see next for you? Do you see yourself kind of continuing on this path of, essentially solo recording? Do you ever see, the desire to collaborate with other musicians or put a band together? Where do you see yourself going in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, I have a band, and we
Mm,
play out. It's just sometimes easier on the recordings,
mhm,
you know, to sort of keep it in house. But for me, I'm always open to collaborate with people. I'm always open to new ideas. I always love working with people. Whether it's on the guitar
mm,
videos or the music itself, because everybody's going to think in a different way. They're going to approach things in a different way. They're going to have a little bit different flavor. And I do that, in other songs that I put out too. Ball Cap Blues, I just, um, being the uniqueness of the album, I wanted to kind of keep it in house. But a lot of times I bounce things off other musicians, or they'll play out. They'll be featured artists. I love to collab with people. I think it's really fun, and it gives a unique, flavor to the music.
yep, definitely. Well, we've been spending some time here with Davey Jones. The record is called Ball Cap Blues. It's available everywhere. I know you could stream it. Do you have hard copies on your website? Do you sell physical CDs and all that?
If they reach out to me, I've got physical CDs. I'll mail them to them.
Always good. And we'll put the link to your website in the interview as well, so people can see that and check out more of your work. Well, Davey, thanks so much for taking the time to do this. Again, the record is called Ball Cap Blues. It's a great listen. Definitely recommend it. Thanks a lot and best of luck with the record.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Thanks.